Guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the inner child struggle versus the adult needs. Intimacy. Why do we crave it, but also fear it? Watch this video. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with us for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. If you are a Patreon member or if you wish to be, please click the Patreon link because all the worksheets and the lessons on this video will be posted right after the video launches. Also, if you are wanting to do my emotional rehab program, which is the program we rehabilitate the emotions of the inner child to change and upgrade our life and also our relationships, that is being offered right now for the last time in 2022. We will start December 1st. We are open for enrollment now. It is 12 weeks. I do show up every week for a live to answer questions on the 12 weeks of material. And by the way, you get that all your life. I was going to say all year, you get it forever, indefinitely. That link is down there. If you're wishing to do inner child work in small, intimate groups, which is 3 to 5 max, you can join my inner work. We are starting November 7th. And that is 8 weeks. So those are the offerings right now. Let's dive in though. This is massive, you guys. I have been talking so deeply with my tribe, meaning clients and people in my courses and membership, constantly about this topic recently. We've been diving into the mother wound, as you know. We always talk about the father wound along with that. But deeper than that is the most important piece of this puzzle, which is your inner child and this struggle it has for intimacy. Why is there an intimacy struggle? There is a struggle because when you were born, let's think about this, okay? Let's go to the root. You were created, I was going to say built, you were created in your mother's womb. You were fed from your mother's body. This is your first experience of extreme intimacy. Into me I see, right? She saw you, she felt you, and therefore you could see and feel yourself. When there becomes a break or an attachment injury, this is what I want to say about that. Your mother may have had emotional wounds she did not heal in her childhood. And so a lot of that's being projected onto you unknowingly or knowingly. Your mother might be narcissistic or have some type of emotional, mental thing going on. She could be going through a lot of stress in her own relationship, in her workplace. We don't know what was going on with her life, but what that means is there was a break in the consistency of the emotional mirroring. I like to say that because oftentimes people say, well, my mother wasn't a narcissist. I'm like, that she doesn't have to be. She can be. It could be there was just some issue going on and she wasn't attuning to you in the way that you needed and deserved at the time. And it may not have been her fault, but it also could have been. So that's what I mean when I say mother wounding. It doesn't mean, oh, you had a bad mom. It means you didn't have good enough mothering for whatever reason. And when that happens, the inner child does not get to anchor in her own identity. She also doesn't get to anchor in a self-esteem. She also doesn't have the emotional imprint of being consistently emotionally attached to or mirrored. And that causes a lot of issues, not only with identity, but with relating, because this is a relationship wound. It's an intimacy wound. We start to become afraid of being seen, afraid of deep intimacy because it doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's not something we're aware of, right? So the unknown is the biggest fear for us. The second biggest fear is being belonging. So if we don't know how it feels to really be safely intimate all the time, we might start to sabotage. We might start to create fights. We might start to create distance in our relationship to break the intimacy and not even know what we're doing, not know why we're doing it, be mad at ourselves for it, but it just doesn't feel comfortable. It almost feels like we have to do that to survive. This is why the emotional imprint, which is week 3 in my inner work course. I don't know what week it is in emotional rehab. I touch on it in both. But our imprint is what feels like the original intimate relationship. Mom. Now, a lot more goes into it when you think about dad, and you think about tribal, and you think about familial, right? Family dysfunction or function. But the intimacy is you and mom, you and mother, you and other, right? So you know what I'm talking about now. When you're with someone and it's like really intense and incredible, you start to have fear. You might start to have anxiety. There's 2 reasons you might have that. Number 1, because it is intimate. But number 2, something to really look at is your body is saying something feels familiar, and that's scary because my familiar intimate thing is abandoning, rejecting, not consistent. So the inner child within is like, oh my God, this feels so good. It also feels like that bad thing. So that's where the confusion comes in. Candace, is this real love or is this a toxic relationship? I said, well, your imprint of real love is toxic. Even though it may not have been toxic with mom, it creates this connection to toxic relationships because of the push-pull, because of the inconsistency, because of the lack of being able to stay and maintain and sustain intimacy. So if you cannot sustain and feel safe in intimacy, you will have relational wounds going on. You will have these inconsistent push, pull, up, down, intense love, intense abandonment, things happening on some scale, right? So we feel, oh, intense. Oh my God, it's amazing, but it's fucking scary. What to do? If it's not this person, it will be the same in another. Because the people who are super healthy, who have a different imprint than you, you're not attracted to. The people that you're super attracted to, I'm going to guarantee you, have some type of wounding as well. In fact, I'm going to tell you, the majority of people I talk to who are like, I'm in one of those intense things. I'm like, okay, which wound? Mother, father. Most women are like, well, I can't say that. Nowadays, most women are seeing a mother wound. It was usually always the father before because God forbid we have a mother wound. But a lot of women are starting to see their mother wound. And they're attracted to men who either have a mother or father wound. But one of the parents in the male we see is narcissistic or not around, right? Same thing with the woman. So if we each had a parental wound, we are coming together to heal it. But how the hell are we supposed to heal it with someone else that isn't healed in that way? They don't have the template for a healthy relationship. So unless you both do the inner work together, or simultaneously, you're doing it separate, but you are together, not such a great outcome. So this is what I'm going to suggest. When you're feeling that intensity, oh my God, I'm falling in love and I'm so scared. I crave the intimacy and then I fear it when I have it, or I fear it'll leave me when I have it. You've got an intimacy injury. And so what we need to do, and you may have heard this before, but I'm going to give you a couple steps to start. What we need to do is start to line up with that mother wound, that mother inside of you that you don't yet trust. Why would you, right? This is what we need to understand. As we emotionally mature ourselves, we start to eventually, it takes time, see and feel ourselves as the one who has our back, as the one who is capable, which I know you don't believe right now, is the one who can sustain and fulfill herself financially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. You don't know that about yourself yet. You're not totally emotionally mature. You've been arrested at a certain age. And that's the age of you emotionally that's attracted to these people and these situations, right? We think we need them to feel enough. We need them to feel safe. I'm doing another video on needing safety to have healing, true healing. But for the purpose of this video, you ain't gonna heal in a dysfunctional relationship at all. You are going to heal by healing the relationship to yourself. And what this means is step 1, being consistent. Step 2, being dependable. This is what I like to tell people. Number 1, you have to start a daily practice of meditation and or prayer. I say 10 minutes, I do 20 or more, but 10 minutes a day to start of guided meditations is a beautiful place to start. And you have to do it consistently every single day. Why? Because you're lifting up to a higher power. You're starting to create a relational experience with some support above you and around you that's also linked into your true self, your inner child, because you are a divine being. Your inner child is super connected to your higher source, to your divine power to your wise guide inside. And so when you do that, you're also connecting to your inner child. You have to be consistent. Number 2, dependability. Showing up for her or him. Acknowledging your inner child every single day. Hand on heart. I know you. I see you. I feel you. I want to be here for you every day. Why? Because now you're starting to make your inner child say, oh, this is consistent. This is different. I can trust this chick or this guy to show up for me, self. And when you start doing that, then we do step 3. But I'm going to give you those 2 steps today, because if you don't start with that baseline, anchoring back into self and something higher, you're going to continue to look externally to anchor. That's what the child does. It doesn't know how to take care of itself and feed itself and financially provide for itself. It looks to other, like it looked to mother, until it heals the mother womb. So, guys, I hope this hits you somewhere really, really powerful today. I want you to share this with one other person if you feel they might need it, or if you feel they could benefit in some way. Please check the links. Again, Patreon, I'll put those worksheets up soon. If you want to join me in emotional rehab, I highly recommend that you do. It changes lives, and I'm not saying that lightly. I didn't build the course until I changed the game for myself. And so I believe in it deeply, and so does everyone who's ever taken it. So I want to suggest that highly if you're able to. Also, inner work is open for enrollment too if you want to dive in with me weekly for 8 weeks. Emotional rehab, it's on your own for 12 weeks, but I do show up every week. And I guess I'll make this little announcement. We are going to be doing emotional rehab and shadow work on demand soon. It will be a little bit different. It will not involve me at all in the lives, or it will not be any lives, but it is also like half the price. It's a lot cheaper. So it's also an amazing option for you. All offerings below. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me below. I adore you guys. Great work. I'll see you soon.